welcome back to Melissa Hager TV. Holy smoky links. The Greta Van Fleet parents are here. We're so excited to have them. Oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about, guys. So this is Dan's first time in the studio, so we got to break him in gently.
No camera shy. So,
you see how he keeps leaning away from me?
you bite.
We'll
Yeah. I was like, oh, it'd be cute if the mom sat in the middle, and then Dan's like, oh, crap, now I got to sit next to Melissa.
No worries.
So, obviously, if you're new, Dan and Lori, you can imagine who their son is.
Yep.
The drummer, Dan. And we got Kelly and Karen are here, too, and Josh and Sam and Jake are the fruit of their loins.
Literally.
Literally.
Yes, indeed.
So, guys, what has been happening? What's going on?
COVID came.
Yeah.
Everything shut down.
What a bummer, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So I saw the new Red Rocks videos that went up. What's your take on those?
Chills.
Outstanding.
There's been a lot of positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a venue.
You know, if you watch those, you can see why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they're 2 out?
Yep.
2 out?
Yep, 2 out.
Yeah. How many is there going to be? Do you know?
I have heard that there will be more.
Okay. Cool.
I'm not entirely sure
Very
how many.
cool.
Yeah.
And it gave everybody something to chew on.
Something new.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we've all been waiting, and I would think all the fans understand why release an album that you can't tour with. Right?
Well,
I mean, that's kind of a thing.
That's true. And they don't want to, boast about themselves during a time when people are having such a hard time.
Yeah.
Struggling in their lives.
And as you know, they're prolific writers, and as they've had time to think about things, and they keep on adding to the album.
That's true.
Oh, do
so
they?
they can't resist. And they go, wow, we like these. We want to add.
So, yeah,
They
so what
need
they
to go on the
did was
album,
they hunkered
so-
down to write album 2,
Yeah.
3.
3.
Yeah. Well,
So they everything's shut down, and they sent them out to a cabin out where they'd be safe, and they just all hunkered down and started writing. Any artists, right? They're never done with their work.
Yeah,
so
so-
they came up with the song, and they're like, no, this one belongs
Right,
on that album.
right.
Well, sorry, the studios are all closed, so now we have to.
Yeah, wait till the studio's open again.
Yeah, so they can't even go
But the
in
good
and-
news is that means the album is going to be more songs than it would have been.
Right.
That is
So that's worth
cool.
waiting for.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Totally
That's
worth waiting for.
Super cool. Well, and the message that's always so strong in every single thing that they do, that means, it's really going to hit us right through the chest, I'm sure, because everything always seems like it's like, oh my God, he's talking to me.
Right.
It always feels that way.
Yeah.
So did they write when they were kids? Was that a thing? Where did this come
Josh
from?
was always the writer. As a matter of fact, for a long time, he always wanted to do film, but for a while there, when we were talking about college, he was talking about.
Aren't you glad you're not stuck there
reporter.
right now?
What do you call that? a writer.
Yeah.
A reporter type.
Right.
He wanted to write, and he's always loved writing. He's always loved words and playing with words and the meaning of words, and how this word and this word, lots of people might think they mean the same, but they're little nuances. So he's always liked to.
That's
so as
cool.
far as like the words, the lyrics go, he just has always been writing. So that helps. But as far as writing the music, it's just something that comes to them. They just and sometimes it's Danny on a bus coming up with a riff on his guitar. Sometimes it's Joshua coming up with something vocally, and it's just someone gets a little nugget of something and says, "Hey, what about this?" And they either say, "Oh, that sucks," or they go, "Yeah, let's. Hey, what about? Well, we could do this with that," and it just grows.
Yeah.
and they always take their sound check, whether they need it or not, because they do a lot of writing during the sound check.
They do.
For shows.
And they'll test out a lot of the ideas that they had put together.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you'll see that in some social media. People are waiting outside a venue and they're
Hearing.
recording, their sound checking. Like,
Yeah.
I've never heard this. What is this? And, we're just sitting watching that.
We know what it is.
That is.
That
We're not going to tell you.
That actually happened at Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Every time they would play a tune, they'd stop and you'd hear roaring from outside. Well, then they played one on the first day. They played one new, and I went, I don't think they've ever
played
I
that.
played
one
that.
before.
Are they putting that on the? And they were just kind of playing with it, and they stopped, and it was kind of silent for a second. Then everyone went, "Yeah!" It's like everyone was like, "That must be a new one."
Yeah.
You know?
See, the Greta Van Fleet fans are passionate, so they get
They are.
get
They
the venues
are.
early.
They
and-
do.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, they
so
sleep
awesome.
outside.
They
Like people
do.
sleep there, and they are there for days, and you're like,
Ugh.
oh my goodness, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, to
Yeah.
them, it's a family reunion. I mean,
Yeah,
It is.
it
It's
is.
so
We've developed
friendly,
such a
all
huge
so.
family
Yep.
with this band that they all meet early and
Yeah, they have meetups.
Yes,
yeah,
they
get
do.
to
I
places.
could not be more proud of the
And they-
fans of Greta
Yeah,
Van
and they
Fleet.
do fundraisers as
Yeah,
well.
they
I
give
mean,
back.
You're
Absolutely.
doing a fundraiser now, right? So-
Yeah, for sure. I want to go to the next meetup, guys. Invite me. I want to go.
You're gonna blow up now.
That's right. That's
You're gonna have at least 100 of those fans saying, "Hey, Melissa."
Cue edit. no, I would love to go. I think that would be fun. I see
They're
those
awesome.
big group pictures, and
Right.
I
I
think,
know.
oh my
Isn't
gosh,
that amazing?
how
Well,
fun.
And with the Red Rocks video, when I saw that first video and they panned the audience a couple times, I wondered. I'm like, I bet you there's people out there going, wait, I was right there. Am I
Yeah.
there? Am I there?
They
Am I
have it.
there?
Well,
Yes.
they did. They put circles around their
Sure.
faces.
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody
They
was
did.
looking
Okay.
for each other, and
Yep.
it's all over. This
So,
is
and,
me. This
so
is
that's
me.
just fun. And then I did see the one I saw was because they stopped on Rex for a second.
Yes.
He was jamming and it stopped for a
Yep.
second and then moved on. And I'm like, okay, I see somebody I know.
Yeah.
But it was so fast. I was like,
Well, because then a
Rex
lot
the
of them,
rail rider.
Yeah, Rex. I mean, he's one of them too. He goes all the way back to the Fisher Hall shows.
Oh, yeah.
where
Oh,
they,
yeah.
that core group. And
Yep.
here's the thing. This is a perfect example. Birds of a feather flock together. So here you have these core fans that are good people. They're genuine. They're
Exactly.
honest. They're not star chasers that are out to harm anybody or
Right.
expose anything. And then look at how that group of fans breeds more fans like that and more fans like that and more fans. And now you have this.
Peaceful army.
Yes.
Yep. I know.
Mind
Well,
blown.
It's
it makes
so
me
touching.
It makes me think of Sketch, the Bailey family. Mm-hmm. They happened to be in Frankenmuth the first time the boys were at Fisher Hall, and they went, "Oh, that's really cool." Oh no, they saw him at
We met them at the
the
Rochester.
Oakland, Rochester.
Yeah, that was Art Speaks.
Arts
Arts
Beats
Beats
and
and
Eats.
Eats.
Yes,
they
we met
saw
them
him
at
at Arts Beats and Eats.
Yep.
And found out they were playing Fisher Hall the next weekend.
And came all the
so
way
they
from
live
Canada.
they live in Canada, just across in
And
Windsor.
they came.
Yep.
And they came and Sketch is the one that did the poster work.
Yes.
And he did that for free and just donated it and said, this is to help with road money because they have, several friends that are in other bands and they understand
He knew how it
that when you're
went.
first starting out, you need the extra cash. And so he just because they loved the music. They loved the
Right.
music and they met the boys and loved the boys. And
Right.
so there's a whole bunch of people like that.
Yeah. Giving.
And how do you, as their parents, how do you never feel competitive with that? How do you guys keep your egos in check and you're not like, wait, we're their parents, we love them the most? How do you ever feel competitive with that?
That would have never
Not at
entered my
all.
mind.
No.
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 It's more like an extension of the family.
Exactly.
Right.
It's kind
Bigger
of
the
like
family, the better.
whoever that actress who says they love me, they really love me. It's kind of like that for me. I'm like going, oh, they love them.
Yeah.
They really do
Aw,
love them.
yeah.
They're actually people that care. And back when I was doing social media, and there would be some haters out there, there was always somebody coming to their defense saying, hey,
That's
if
what's
Sure.
you're welcome to your opinion. If you don't like
Yeah,
them,
just
that's
go.
fine. But don't post here because this is
Yeah.
for those of us who do care and we believe in them and that that kind of thing as a mom. It was kind of really cool. Oh, they love my boys. They care about my boys. They understand. They're hearing the message my
Right.
boys are putting out there.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
just
and the
nice.
more people, the better. I mean, we've gone to venues where there are 10 people in the crowd, and we're like, but these guys are great. Where are the people?
Yeah.
I mean, that was like 4 or 5 years of that.
Yeah.
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 And then to suddenly just look at the masses, it's like, we knew they were out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just
we
had to
knew there was a
get
brand.
them to the right
and
place.
So we embrace everyone who
That's cool.
finds them as awesome as we do.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, so again, through Instagram, I get to see a lot more stuff. People are so creative, the things that they post, and I've seen a lot of the drawings and the
Yes.
paintings
Yes.
Yes.
and the pencil work. And right before the pandemic hit, I got my first fan art. Someone did me in pencil, and it's so cool. And I cried when I opened it. I never got one before, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And I just see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of posts with people, these talented
I
people
know.
that can draw the boys.
Yeah.
And it's just, it looks so cool. Does that get old to them, or does everyone still seem cool? Like, I remember thinking, when I was looking at the one I got, I was like, I don't ever want it to not be cool to get these. Like, I don't ever want it to get old.
It never gets old. I got these diamond, where you put the little rocks in, they're like
The rhinestone?
the rhinestone
Yeah.
art. I got 2 in the mail, one of all 4 that was together, and then another one of just Daniel playing the drums.
Oh,
And my cousin came out to, help me. We just put some Mod Podge on top of it so that they all stayed in. And my cousin looked at him because she does it, and she goes, "Do you know how many hours this took a fan to do?" And then they just mailed it to you.
they didn't even keep it.
They didn't even keep it. And I said, I know. I just cannot even believe, and would be framed and put in Daniel's room for him to take when he has a house. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing that, and the jewelry and
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
people do, their love for them is just so.
Yeah, I don't
Huge.
think the boys get sick of it.
No, they
And
never
I know
will.
that they don't. They don't. I've said this before. They don't do a whole lot of responding or interacting because
There's
they
so
feel
much.
bad. Sam literally said, "If I answer one, I have to answer everybody. If I
Right.
mention something to somebody, I have to mention it to everybody because there's so many people, and I just don't have time." So I've said, but they look, and they
Yep.
see, and they appreciate. They definitely appreciate it.
That's cool.
Yeah. Don't ever stop.
Yeah,
Right.
it's that
Don't
is
let the love die.
Now I would say, because we still get gifts sent to the house, like jewelry and stuff like that. If you're buying jewelry for them, it's probably better, like for birthdays and stuff, because they have lots of stuff now, and they can only travel with so much. Although some of it gets left at home, and I do borrow it.
you're like, look at my new earrings.
But
yay!
but like for birthdays and stuff,
Show us what you're wearing.
that's right. Yeah. For birthdays and stuff, it might be better to like get the fans together instead of buying them gifts.
Lots of little things.
like that. They could get together and collect money and donate, and just send the card saying we donated to.
Oh, that's a great
this fund,
idea.
because they have a couple of funds out there that they truly believe in, and they would love that. Just send a little
And
plaque or picture or
contrary
card.
to public opinion, our boys don't come back to Frankenmuth and spend endless time at home.
Yeah.
Right.
They're grown
busy.
and they're
Yep.
out
Yeah.
on their
Yeah, that
own
first
and-
year that was still home base, but
Right.
now they started out on the road and they just were constantly gone, and they were just
Yeah, so 3 years on the road essentially
Yep.
with little breaks here and there, and you would think, in these times, that there's a lot of idle time on their hands, and not at all.
No, they have not been
So,
idle once.
They're as busy now as they have been when they were touring. So
Right. Well, and as a performer myself, obviously on a very, very different level, smaller stage, I can tell you though, like my foot is on the start line. I'm just waiting for the gun.
know.
You know, like I'm just waiting for him to shoot the gun because I want to be out of the gate right away too. I don't want to be
Yep.
stuck with everybody else. And the people I've talked to that miss live entertainment, they miss concerts, they miss comedy shows, they miss all that stuff.
Well, especially
it's gonna
performers
be
that are
yeah.
so used to
So
that
hard on
direct
you guys.
interaction.
Right, exactly. Some comedians I keep in touch with just for the sake of I'm worried about them,
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
because I
True.
talk to them
I
and they
know.
sound different than they used
Yep.
to.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
and it's
True.
tough without an audience as a comedian.
Yeah,
really
it is.
Well, any
tap that-
entertainer.
tap the energy.
Any
Right.
any
Yeah.
entertainer that energy flows. You know, with
Exactly.
comedy, it's more obvious because you get laughs and stuff. But
Yeah.
any entertainer that is in a live audience, that energy, you just can feel it. And
Well, and
see
everybody's
it.
like, just get online, just do stuff online. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, okay, well, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not
It
the
isn't.
same.
I mean, you
I
might
did
as well
like
do
the
it now.
hot test you did with your kids. Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard
We
at
had
that.
a lot of fun doing that. Oh, they have so many more things that they wait till you see our Coke Mentos explosion.
Oh!
Fail. We totally
Oh,
failed.
failed.
We totally failed.
I think
I've
you
never
need to
seen
do
that fail.
Yes.
I think you need to do the hot test with the Greta boys.
Oh, I would
That
love to.
would be
So
neat.
what is this?
So tell them.
Wait, my boys have been begging me. So my boys are into YouTube. They've been wanting to have their own YouTube channel. I'm like, well, let's come on Mom's channel a little bit and test the waters and see. Because before I have to manage 2 accounts, I
Yeah.
got to get my own figured out.
Yeah.
And so they've been wanting to do a hot food challenge. That's like a
Hot
big
food
thing
challenge.
on TikTok and
Spicy hot.
Yep,
spicy
spicy
hot.
hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My kids never eat hot food ever. They don't eat spicy stuff. So we just went through Frankenmuth and bought some local items that were like
That was
okay.
supposed to be
Yeah,
spicy.
but
Kern's scorpion cheese.
we got well, we did. We
You
did
did
get
one.
cheese
You
from
did
the
one.
cheese house, and we had straight from hell sauce. That
Yeah.
was the very last one.
Yeah, but they weren't even bothered
No,
by it. I was
Declan got a little
shocked.
weird, and then I was like, "What in the world?"
I know, they were like, this isn't even hot.
Yeah,
And I'm
so
like, oh, you need to step
I'm
up
gonna
that.
fry them next time. I'm gonna fry them. But anyway, so yeah, they've
fun.
been
I know, it's
doing
neat.
stuff.
It's a neat
but
challenge.
yeah, we should. Declan definitely seemed to be the more arrogant, combative one about like, look at me, and maybe he should face off with the boys.
That would be cute.
That would be a tough one.
You'd have to find some
boy-
hot things.
boys
Yeah,
are-
they
They
all
love
4 of
spicy.
them.
All
Yeah.
4 of them like
Really?
spicy food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had one cheese curd, and I was like, I can't help me.
But these boys love being in Mexico. Because
Oh, they
the
got
spicy
all the good
foods
stuff.
And the Mexican drinks.
True.
And my goal every year for Christmas is to get Daniel something spicy for his stocking.
Now he always has like spice, but hasn't always been a cook though, right?
No, he learned how to cook a lot when he met the boys, actually.
Right.
That's
Yep.
cool.
He
And
was
that's
hanging
He was
did a
hanging
lot of
out over
cooking
there,
together.
Yeah.
and they did a lot of cooking together.
Yes.
I personally am not a big cook. It's
Right.
not my favorite thing to do.
not my thing either, definitely.
No.
And it's his thing. It's Kelly's
And
thing,
it is his
right?
thing. Yeah, it is.
Well, I cooked, and then he'd work late, and I'd be mad because now my dinner's nasty and cold. And so he would say, your dinner's nasty and cold. So he'd just whip something up at 9 o'clock at night when I'm trying to get kids to bed. And they'd go, what you doing, Dad? And then they'd eat that and they'd go, oh, this is good. So then
good.
I started having the hardest time. I'd make dinner. Those little brats, they wouldn't eat it.
They would wait till 9 o'clock till Dad got
When's
home.
Dad? So finally I was like, you know what? I hate cooking. You don't like my meatloaf or my hamburger helper?
I'm moving on.
That's fine. I'm just not cooking anymore. And I told him,
You're up.
you're up now. You're responsible. So I'd make them some,
Now look
fruit
what
and
you did.
cheeses
Yeah.
for their
And now
snack.
they all
Yeah.
cook. When we went to Nashville to see the boys in June, they did this phenomenal
Oh, spectacular.
dinner for the Father's Day for these guys.
That's
So-
cool.
Oh my
Teach your
gosh.
children to cook, and
Yep.
you'll gain in so many ways. Then you
Yep.
won't have to cook.
Gained in so many ways.
In the waistline.
Yeah.
And they surpass you. I
Yeah.
think they did it.
Which they have. Yeah,
That's
Daniel's loves to cook now and grill and
Yeah.
So Dan, how's
Oh,
your,
you
did
got a
do
new-
your, you got a new grill, and you're gonna.
I did after fixing it up, making some mods. I smoked my
Smoker.
first chicken quarters,
and ribs.
Ooh.
and we did some ribs.
Wow.
And I think the first thing I learned is you can almost have too much smoke.
Okay.
That's the first thing I've learned
Yeah.
because it was like eating a briquette.
That's
But we ate it
very
all.
smoky
it
flavor.
was all right.
And,
Yeah.
But you like
That's when you mix it
black-
with rice.
You like everywhere
Exactly.
the smoke
That's
can
what
come
we
out.
should.
So.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so
That's
it's a
good
learning
though.
process, but
Yeah.
You'll get it.
I have a smoker now.
He has
Yeah?
a smoker
You
now.
figure it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know?
I can taste test anytime.
Okay.
There you go.
We can
Right
do
around
that.
the corner.
We
So
can
yeah,
do
so the
that.
kids for Father's Day got him a new Weber grill.
Weber grill,
Oh.
the,
With
the
the-
premium model. So.
Yeah.
I was working with the scrappy old one that the ladder had fallen on.
Oh boy.
So he was all excited about that, and we went over to their house the other night, and there was a grill there with smoker, and so then they have, So he
men-
was
the
wondering
men
how
were doing
his turned
theirs.
out.
Yeah.
Men and their grills.
Men in their grills
Yeah.
and their
The chicken was
smokers.
better than the
Yes.
ribs because
I agree.
we left the skin on the chicken, and the skin
Oh.
absorbed most of the smoke.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you could take the skin off and get have some great chickens.
And the fans are so interested in this.
Of course they are.
I'm sure they
They
are.
want to know.
Because I can tell you all the gifts
We're
you're going to be
human.
getting.
Yeah, exactly.
And I admit, although I've been using a Weber for quite a long time, there's a lot that I need to learn.
Yeah.
So back to the boys and their cooking. Jake.
Oh, is this about the boys?
What
boys?
The boys who? What made me think about when he started talking about grilling was the food and the grilling is Jake. He was the first one. He can take a salmon fillet, put it out there, flip it, so like not the skin side, but the other side. You can cook it like that, and it's perfectly. It's like little crispy and
Really?
and it's so good. It's like how's that not fall through there?
How does it
And
not?
it didn't break apart.
Yeah.
He's a master.
He's a
Wow.
master.
That's cool.
All of his food's great, but you put him on a grill, man, and it's just
Right.
it's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the best Father's Day food I've ever had in my entire life. Those 4 boys went to town.
When she eats smoked salmon,
you know.
you know it's good. 'Cause
you-
she's not a huge fish lover.
Yet, I'm hoping to become one with the.
that's my next
That's our next
attempt.
thing.
All right,
We're going
we'll
to try to
work
do
on
some
it.
salmon.
Yep. Yeah.
Or some whitefish. We'll see.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy.
Did you hear that, son? Whitefish, salmon. Come on home.
I hear you need to unplug some of the holes. Unplug some of the holes.
Yes.
Or just a shorter period. I don't know.
That's just,
I
we'll
think
figure
we
it
already
out.
We'll
have
figure it out.
figured
I
out.
do.
Yeah.
I do. I have some ideas.
How cool.
Lots of YouTube.
You know, I'm a
searching.
science teacher.
Yeah.
It's all about the changing the variable.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, boy.
We'll get there.
Okay, good. So next subject, because I'm getting so hungry, we have to change the subject. I think all of us parents that are fans of the boys would love to know, have you guys put yourselves in the shoes of parents right now that are virtually homeschooling their kids? Like,
wow.
could you imagine your kids and their strong personalities? And we've talked about the boys several times.
Yep.
What if you had to homeschool them? What do you think that would have been like in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade?
One,
I'd have
getting them
run
out
away
of
from
bed.
home.
Right?
I'd be gone. I'd just
Do the funny farm.
be gone.
Getting them out of bed probably would be the
Yeah.
hardest
Getting them out of
part.
bed would be the first part.
And then getting them to bed
Would be the next
That would
part.
be the
would be
next
the
hardest
second
thing.
hardest.
Yeah, because
Couldn't you
going
just
to bed
homeschool
late
in
and
the
not
middle of the
getting
night?
up early in the
Yeah.
morning,
Yeah.
it's just-
No, these poor parents. I mean,
Yeah, I've lamented like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad we don't have kids or grandkids
Yeah.
that we have to worry about all this stuff.
But I can
with.
guarantee there would be fewer trips to the school to get the things that they had left in their lockers and their
Wow, you're
desks.
right about that.
Because that was a daily trip with Daniel for quite a while.
Oh, really?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you just left it behind?
Well, and he didn't get it. Like I'd be like, you don't understand. Like I've gone back and forth to that school 5 times today, just today.
Because
I
they
took
love something
and
at
I had,
home.
I had to get this
They
homework
love
up there,
something at school.
and I told them I'm not bringing your homework anymore. In the morning, do you have it? Do you have it? And then all of a sudden I'd get a call. Oh, I forgot this.
Oh, no.
Or I'd get up there and it's like not here, so I'd get up there and I'd dig through. It's in your back.
There it is. Oh, no.
And I know you're not supposed to just let them burn. You're supposed to say, nope, sorry, that was your responsibility. You find it. But, they will look this long and go, oh, well, couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Got any. No!
I like the story of Daniel's French horn because Daniel played the French horn in band, and we were looking for it. We were going to sell it, a year or two after he graduated, and no idea
Couldn't
where
find
it was.
it.
It got donated.
Oh, we're like, Daniel's like, it's down the basement, and we're like, we have searched this house. It is not in this house. So what could you have done with an entire French horn in a case? We're like, where is it? So he's at school one day.
So I don't remember why or when, but I was in the band room, nosing around, and I see this burgundy case. I was like,
in the closet, wasn't
that
it?
looks familiar.
No.
So I flipped the
No.
light on, and it's tucked in a corner. And
Yeah.
it had been there for at least 3 years.
Oh,
Sitting in that
my
closet.
He left
God.
it
Now
at,
that
he
you
left
found
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he knew it was that one because he had put it together because the case had gotten destroyed. And
Yeah,
so
I-
he had to
I had
MacGyver
put
it.
new latches on, new screws, and everything.
It had been on the bus.
And so at that point, I had to call the band director and ask his permission if
To take our own
if I could take my own
that we
kid's
paid for.
instrument
'Cause it had
that
been
he'd
back
probably
so
been
long.
using for 3 years. I
Yeah.
was thinking there's probably a law that
Oh,
my
my
God.
it
goodness.
belongs to the school now. but I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, it's,
Our boys.
Yeah, I've thought about you guys a couple times. In not typically when I'm crying, but if someone's running around if someone's running around in their underwear and I can't get them to put pants on, or it's like the third poop break, which I know they're just in there dinking around, they're not actually doing anything. I'm like, boy, I just think about you guys. I think this would be hilarious to watch,
I can't
having to go
imagine.
through
Well,
stuff.
Josh and Jake took an online class once. And I don't forget, it was it was in high school.
in high school.
Because they had failed.
Oh,
So they had to do a summer
so
class.
they had to do a summer class.
So it was online, but it was a writing class. It was English of some
English,
sort.
okay.
So we started it at home, and oh my gosh, it was crazy. So they were freshmen or sophomores. It must have been sophomores. And it was just crazy trying to get them, because it was the same class, and no, you can't do the same work. You have to do separate work. And this, I got to do this. And then they'd argue with each other, because I thought perfect thing is to have them discuss it, so they can come up with ideas. And no, then it's like, well, no, that's not what they meant. And that was no. Okay, you do yours. It was crazy, and then they were constantly distracted. So we had to go to my mom's house for something down in Tennessee, and we were down in Tennessee, and I'm trying to work with them, and it was time to go home, and I'm like, Kelly, you take Ronnie and Sam and the dogs, and you go home. And I kept them down in Tennessee at my mom's house
To finish
to
that.
finish
To
this
finish
course.
it.
Online course.
2 more weeks we stayed
Wow.
down there,
Gosh.
just so there was less distraction,
less distraction.
and I could just focus on just if I had to do that for multiple classes for all 4
Oh, I can't
kids.
even imagine.
I'm telling you, I would have run away.
Yeah.
I would have said,
Yeah.
"Okay, guys,
Yeah.
good luck.
Put them on a plane,
I'll
send
come
them
back. I'll
home.
come back in June."
You hear stories. I've heard a lot of stories about kids that are genuinely good students and complete assignments and get good grades, and they're struggling.
Yeah.
Because
Well, it's a different way of learning, isn't it?
it is a different way.
Well, the structure. There's not the structure,
Yeah.
and when I'm trying to, So my Weston has got the perfect example. He has the teacher right now. She's been a teacher for a really long time, and she has a teacher voice. She has a teacher attitude. She has teacher eyebrows. Everything about her. Like every time you see her, well, hi, Mr. Weston. It's so happy. I'm so happy to see you. And like her voice is always up here, and he lights up when he sees her. And I'm so weird. I'm like, what is she like in the bedroom? That's just. But he don't get that. He's getting me, and I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what 4 plus 4 is? Like, just do it on your hands. Right here. Count them.
You know, that sounds like me talking to Josh and Jake.
I'm like,
Just think.
Yeah.
So kudos to all the parents.
Yes,
'cause it
definitely.
is
Huge
not
kudos
easy
to all
right
the
now.
parents. And that's why when concerts and stuff open back up, we're going to be flooding
I know.
out. Be like,
The
get me
world.
out of here.
Open up the world. Yeah, I know.
Please.
We're getting closer. Theaters, I hear, next week or no,
Yep.
October 9th.
20%.
Really?
At
Oh,
20%.
It's a
Yep.
start, just getting people
So
back
if I
together.
rented Fisher Hall, I could put like 21 people in
There
there.
you go.
Wow. 21 people.
I'd only have to
$100 a head.
charge $100 a
$100
head.
a head
Yeah.
to make a living.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's hard. So hopefully sooner than later. So have the boys even talked anything about when they get to come back out? Like, is there a plan, or they're just waiting?
See, there are multiple plans.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yet,
Honestly, there are, and they keep
just for
changing
this-
every day.
Just based on, like, we don't know. We don't know. So if it opens up at this point, here are some ideas of how we can do it. And if it doesn't, we can do this. And if it doesn't, we can do that. And it's just
It's a moving
constantly, there's
target.
Yeah,
several
it
of
is
them, and
constantly.
they're in flux based on what
But I
is
don't
going
believe
on.
they're going to be able to jump right back in where they left off. So they were
Yeah.
I agree.
they were getting into very large venues toward the end of 2019. And
Yep.
strictly for COVID reasons, they're not going to be able to
Right.
pack in
No
a
one will
house
be able
that
to.
large
Yeah.
anyway. So in a sense, it's going to almost be wound back.
Yep, to where it was.
Well, the good news for fans
and
is
for
if they-
fans, it's going to be more of a personalized setup.
Personalized show that everyone wishes they had seen
a
at the
more
very
intimate
beginning.
venue again.
Yeah,
so,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean that's how I see things. That's not how it's been explained, but that's kind of how I see things.
Yeah, it'll definitely
Yeah.
be a smaller
Unfolding.
crowd
Be
when
that
they
way for
start.
everybody.
Yeah, it'll be that way for everyone.
Right.
Yep.
Have you play? Have you been playing at all? We've
I
been
have
watching.
been.
You've had a couple things going on. Is
Yeah.
it been outdoors?
Yeah, primarily, it has been outdoors.
And what feel do you get from the people?
A lot of people are hesitant to come to shows. I mean, we had a Lions fundraiser. It was for children blind children for summer camp and Christmas gifts, And since the Lions themselves couldn't do any fundraising formally.
And it's an annual fundraiser that couldn't do.
So there's a friend of ours that's very involved with Lions, and he said, we need to do something for these kids. So I got the Vortex Band together, and we were able to, at the time, all the restrictions change here and there, but we were able to have 50 people show up, and there were a lot of donations. So we were able to raise $7,000.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
But it was there was an indoor hall area, but it was several doors that were open and then seating and stuff outside.
Yeah.
So that
So-
everybody was, super
Well-
distanced and masked, and a lot of people just gave their money and said, "We're not coming. We're not
And-
comfortable,
yeah.
but
And
here's."
that's where I started with. A lot of people won't go,
Right.
but it's nice that they're still generous with the fundraising.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then the House of Cigar, which is in Frankenmuth here, and they're just starting up. Well, they've been going for 3 years now, maybe.
Yep,
actually?
yep.
But it takes a while.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And they've
It's Colonel Benny's and House of Cigar.
and then they've added some craft beer to
They
that.
got their liquor license, so
So anyway, they were interested in putting on an event, which was 4 cigars, 4 bourbons, and a gourmet meal.
Very
So,
cool.
4-course meal.
yeah. So that was
And that was in Carroll
Brown-
with Harvest.
who cooked?
Dietrich.
Dietrich.
Oh
Bronner.
yeah, he's cool.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He has a new group of
Yep.
chefs.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, I can't think of what.
I can't think of it either. I'm trying to remember who the
Venture, was that?
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I'm sorry, Dietrich, but
Yeah, they
Anyway,
autumn.
it was an outdoor event, and
Yeah.
it was in what is that? Carroll?
Carroll,
Is that
yeah.
Carroll? And it went out. It was really good. I mean,
So-
everybody was distanced. The tables were all distanced, and the
It-
food was wonderful,
we were
and
fortunate.
weather was good.
Yeah.
yeah, weather was
Started to kind
fortunately
of
good.
sprinkle for a second, and then stopped.
Good.
Yeah, and that was on August 29th, so.
Yeah,
But the weather was bad, and then it was good. We got
Right.
lucky, and it was good. So that being a promotional event, so
Right, right.
That's primarily what I want to do, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it's. I think that's what we all endeavor to do is start giving back,
Yeah.
Right.
or continue to.
continue to give back. Yeah, I don't think you guys need to start. You have started a long time ago. You know.
So yeah, I have a few gigs. And then,
Okay.
Then I have another. I was scheduled to open for Walter Trout in Metro Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And that got canceled. It was at the Token Lounge, and I know there were a lot of Greta Van Fleet fans that were actually
Yes.
coming
That were
into
going.
various places,
Yeah.
and they said, "Oh, it's going to be canceled." So
Yeah.
was able to maneuver and get an outdoor gig under the tent at White's Bar. So,
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, and that's coming up.
yeah,
October 11th.
10th.
October 10th, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
that'll
cool.
be nice. You get some
White's
people-
Bar,
I
back to
know,
the roots.
Back to
That's
the
right.
yeah, boy.
Back to the roots.
Boys
Now-
are excited to play there.
The
But
first gig and first
yeah.
bar fight at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
So I've heard the mom's rendition of the White's Bar first
Right.
gig. I would love to know how the dads think that night went. Like, let's play it out through you guys. How did that first gig go?
I mean, we could probably over dramatize the entire thing, but
Probably not.
the long and short of it was they were playing a killer set. A lot of activity, a lot of patrons getting into it, a lot of drinks. There was some drunk gentleman sitting on a stool to my right, about as close as you and I are right now, and another gentleman, I think, kind of cut in front of him at the bar. And there were words exchanged, and they started going at it. And next thing you know, it was almost in slow motion. You could see this roundhouse hook, and it's coming right at my face because he's trying
Right
to hit
there.
the guy next to me, and I'm just doing one of these. Whoa!
And I was sitting across from Dan, going,
Oh, Doc!
They end up falling to the ground.
Table-
Bouncers
our table
come
gets
in.
flipped.
I mean, the fight was over within
Really
seconds.
fast, yeah.
And I don't think they even landed any punches, but
They missed each
I
other.
turned to Laura. I was like, "What the hell are we doing? Bringing our 14-year-old into this bar, you know?"
And they just kept on playing.
Yeah, they
Did
never
it-
knew
they
it
never
happened.
stopped?
No, so after
They never saw it.
After that was my first question. So Daniel, what'd you think of that fight that went on at the bar? He said, there was a fight.
You had no
You know,
idea.
even
the
even
lights
Josh
in
and
their
Jake up
eyes.
front didn't see it.
They
They were
missed
just
it.
they were just playing
Yeah.
their music and the
That's awesome.
lights in there.
Never saw it.
doing
but,
what they
but
love.
we questioned our decision at that point. So that was the first
Yeah.
bar that we had taken our son to. The Kiskas got started at least a year earlier.
before.
We were used to dragging them to,
Yeah.
to CD bars after hours. We'd kind of made peace with that.
Yeah.
This was the first bar fight.
Yeah,
And
the
made
last.
us go,
And the last. Yeah. And we never saw
There
them
were a
And
again.
you're
couple
like
of scuffles.
You're
but that
like
was-
Dan and
yeah.
Lori. We swear this is the first one.
Yeah.
The bathrooms aren't always clean, but this doesn't usually happen.
That's right.
We swear.
Oh, that was
That's right.
bizarre.
But that was Whites. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was our introduction
Yeah.
to Whites.
Yeah, they're
But we went back.
Oh, yeah.
Many times.
Big
Very
fans at
iconic.
White's.
It was, I think, one of their favorite
Yep.
venues.
Yep. Good fans at White's. Love them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thank you, Bo White.
Yep. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Go
yeah,
Bo.
Go
That's
Bo.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yep. Got him out there.
That is such a fun story, especially because in the whole realm of things, they're 14 years old. You know, they're
Right.
young.
Sam and Daniel
They're
were.
young guys. So
But it was also our first paying gig for Daniel. It was like, not the first. I guess when he filled in
Oh.
And,
at the
right.
The biker.
the
It was
rider.
biker gig.
Yeah, the biker gig. Yep.
was the first. But technically, Daniel wasn't in the band at
Right.
that point.
Right.
Yeah.
But this was the first bar that we'd gone into.
I remember at the biker gig when Daniel was filling in, and we were talking to Karen and Kelly, and I remember Kelly was so professional. He's like, "I can't talk right now. I gotta watch Daniel. I gotta see how he's doing." And he was like in the mode of I need to see how he's gonna do, if he's gonna fit in, and he walked away, and I went, "Go Daniel."
you're like, he's gonna do awesome. Don't you worry.
That was like an interview by.
It was.
Fire or
Yeah, it was like
whatever.
Daniel's
Yeah.
interview
It was like, oh,
for the band.
by the way, you've been golfing all day and you didn't
Yep.
plan on it, but we need someone to play drums for us
Yep.
in 2 hours.
Yeah.
And
all he had done was sat at the drums after school.
He'd only been in, he'd come to the house and sat in on drums a
And I
couple of
remember I
times.
had
and-
my iPhone 3, and I have some footage of that experience. I know there's a ton of fans out there. Love
Yeah.
it.
I would love
See
to
that
see
grainy,
that.
dark.
Where is that iPhone 3?
That's-
For heaven's
that's right.
sake.
It was so dark.
You
at
never
that
bring nothing
outside
with
gig.
you, Dan.
I
Come on.
have it.
That's why I don't invite
It's
you.
on my private. It's on my private YouTube channel.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Now the world's gonna try to
Ah.
hack
Computer.
my
Good
private
job,
channel.
honey.
You know, they played 3 hours without stopping.
Without
Yes.
stopping that night.
And
What?
the bikers
Yep.
had, so some of them, being in the military, and they had some flags to retire, and they had this flag ceremony
Ceremony,
that they were going to do. And he said, I hate to bring this up, but we have some activities that we need to take care of. And I was wondering if there's going to be a time that they plan on stopping.
'Cause they don't
Maybe
ever
we could
break,
ask
right?
them to take a break.
So they're
Yeah,
used
they
to
don't-
bands play half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah, and they take a
always
break.
take a 20, 30-minute break. And
Not
then
our
the
boys.
The boys, they would just get up on stage and play until
Because
they were done playing.
3
One
hours.
song would morph into another, and then it would morph into another,
Yeah.
and then they'd break into their own blues sound and make
Yep.
something
Yeah.
up on the
Wow.
fly.
And if you've gone to a Greta Van Fleet concert, you can see the roots.
Correct.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that the other day.
But you had actually, back to that story, you actually had to just like unplug them, didn't you?
No.
Oh,
I
yeah,
said,
that's right.
I said, finish this song,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna need to take a little break. And
Oh.
All right.
I
just
thought I remembered you unplugging too, now that you say that.
Oh, they're not stopping there. You gotta stop. Okay, we'll stop.
That could have
Okay,
been
just a
another-
minute.
That could have been
And they
somewhere else.
And they're like, oh, no, really now you gotta
That just
stop.
shows you how much they love to play.
Yeah.
They're there playing because
they
they love
get-
music.
Yeah.
They get accused of at times selling out in certain aspects, but
Yeah.
it's never
They just-
been. It's
Never.
never been about money, fame.
Never.
It's been about the craft, the art, and
The message.
fun
And the message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just all four of them. That's what they live
Yeah,
for.
it's,
They
it's
breathe
been
it.
fortunate that they've been given the latitude to be creative in their own way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's a lot of bands that come up and say, well, if you want to be successful, we're going to sign you, but you're going to have to change all of you get a list of things. You can't look that way anymore. You have to
Right.
play your songs this way.
We're
and
gonna have
so many
music written
restrictions.
for you to sing.
Yeah. So it's very fortunate that they have the freedom.
Mm-hmm. for him to
And
be.
and last time I saw Josh, I asked him, I said, do you ever get sick of being told what to do? And he's like, nobody tells me what to do. I can say, no, I don't want to do that. Or no, I'm not going to do that. No, you're not going to do my hair that way. No. And I was like, really? I mean, he said, yeah, really.
Yeah.
I have full control over what
They
I
do.
do. And I'm
Yep.
like, wow,
Yeah.
that's by this level.
So-
Usually that gets taken away. Some
Right.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
They have
perhaps
good management.
that's something that the industry has to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and I think you go further back, there wasn't the restrictions. The cookie cutter for success that has been that did drive the industry for a number of years.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it
Yeah, I
needs
don't
to
think
go back to a little bit more creative.
I agree.
Right.
I agree with you, but I don't think it. Well, I think there's a lot of big money in the cookie cutter
There is.
industry.
There is.
There's a lot of money to say, okay, here's some talent here, and if we dress them this way and write this music for them and play these gigs here, then we'll make lots of money.
Yeah.
And that's when you're a young rising star and you don't know better and you're told, yes, we'll pay you this much money to do all this stuff, you go, yeah, okay. Oh, all of a sudden, a year into it, 2 years into it, then you get the disgruntled folks saying, look, I want to do my music. I want to, be able
Yeah,
to.
now it's too late.
And now you're
Yeah,
in there for a
absolutely.
couple
Right.
of years until you
Right.
can. And we've heard of artists that have, finished their contracts and totally changed what they do because it's like, that wasn't me, this is me. Here I go.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of dynamics. I mean, there is a place for that as well. There's
Yeah.
a lot of,
Sure.
There's
Well,
someone
Well,
that wanted
I'm not
to.
saying it's good. I'm saying I don't see it changing
no,
overnight.
I agree with you.
You've got all your independents out there doing just that, saying, nope, I'm not.
And those
Gonna
are
be
the,
bought and sold.
Those are
I'm
the
gonna do
indie
what I'm
artists
doing.
that are
Yeah.
pursuing an independent path. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess
So,
we do
but
have
we
a lot
got
of that.
fortunate in the fact that the management team
Let them
knew
be them.
and understood
That's what they wanted.
what they wanted before they signed, and
Yeah.
have been able to work with the
That.
label and everybody surrounding the boys to support that
Yeah.
Yeah.
independence.
Yeah, and everything you hear from this band, it's them.
Yeah.
There's no outside influences whatsoever.
Yeah.
They're talented enough, as you saw, they're executive producers on the Red Rocks. They're talented enough
Yeah.
to be able to
You know, there's a
design.
lot of speculation that there's this something driven wheel with a higher level that's forcing them down some path. It's like no.
No.
It's just them.
I mean, if you've seen some of their early stuff from the bars that we were talking about, this is the same group of kids that you're hearing on the radio and
Yeah.
seeing at shows. I mean, it's
And-
always been them.
And we're all experiencing their evolution.
You know?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You see their growth as musicians, as humans.
Yep.
So do
Yeah.
you guys ever miss the old days, the very beginning days, or
All
do you
the
get?
time.
Do
So,
you,
so I don't miss lots of parts.
Yeah.
Like it cost more than they made.
Sure.
Just to
Yeah.
get them to
Carrying
They never
huge
talked about
speakers.
money, but we were always
Our-
talking
our-
about money.
Our credit card bills kept going up
Yeah.
as they kept playing shows.
Yeah.
Our poor guys, they had to have water all the time at all the shows. We couldn't afford anything fancy for them to do.
Yeah.
And luckily they sold merchandise quickly.
Yeah,
Merchandise
that
flew,
helped.
but it got reinvested. We need new amps, we need new drum heads, we need new this, we need new
Always.
that. So it's always being reinvested. It's a hard gig, man. to be a
Yep.
band.
For 5 years.
So I don't miss that much so much, but I do miss the going out and the watching the small crowds react, because we
Yes.
walked in with these
Yeah.
little kids and people would go,
Yeah, you
oh, and you
can't-
could see they were like kind of pissed off, like
Yeah.
and then they'd take
Yeah.
stage and people would be like, yeah, blah 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 blah.
And then
blah.
they would
then
you'd hear
boom,
that
they'd-
first chord, and all of a sudden their ears just perk, and they're
You
like,
watch
"What?"
people the whole head snap. I learned to just watch the
Yes.
crowd when
Yep.
they'd start, because you'd see people going, blah, blah,
I'm with Karen.
and it would
Yeah.
get silent, and everyone would be just going, holy cow, what is this coming out of these little kids, And
anyone
that was fun.
anyone that tells stories about hearing them way back in the day at grad parties or CD bars or biker shows, everybody always has the same thing that they say. They're like, I was not expecting that.
Right.
And then after I took a swallow and got my breath back,
Yep.
I thought, wow, there's something here. There's something here to this.
Yeah.
And it's just wild that I know we joke about Josh has said he's going to be famous forever. He's always said that. But did they really know? Like, did they really know what they had?
I don't know. We kept telling them they did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
felt.
I think they felt.
They called
knew.
what did they call me? Debbie Downer. Why are you Debbie Downer, Mom? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm your biggest fan. I think you guys have so much talent, and I think you can go far. But you got to understand how much talent is in this world.
Right.
Just in our little town, there are other people that can sing real well and play guitar real well. And then you get bigger, and there's more and more. There's so many people. So luckily, you guys are all talented. You've got this great mix. But you have to have a plan. You have to understand that this isn't going to happen overnight. And that you're going to graduate from high school and you're going to be playing gigs while you're trying to get famous. You're going to have a day job, hence slow bones. And they're like, why are you such a downer? We're not going to do that. We're not going to have to worry about school and what this. I'm like, that's a wonderful plan, and I believe in you, and I think you can do it. But so many things go into the mix that sometimes you don't have control. And they're like, well, you're such a downer. And then the little buggers went and did it overnight. And
exactly.
It proved me
I was
wrong.
going to say, they didn't even take but a couple
No day
years.
jobs. Yeah.
For
They were able to
heaven's
live
sakes.
at home until they got out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a lot more than a couple years.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean,
They've worked hard.
What people
they
don't
worked hard for 8
realize
years
is
before they got
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
they've been working at this since your kids were.
The twins were 15. Well, Jake was 15 when he
Well,
formed
Sam
the
was
band.
12, right, when he entered
Yeah.
the band. It's hard to even wrap that around your head.
At
He
that
was
age.
in middle school, and you're like, well, what do you do when you? They were working hard since.
Yeah, and it was even
Since
before
middle
the
school.
band. They were putting time in. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
Yep.
getting at. That not just as the band, but as individual musicians.
Yeah, they
growing
were.
and-
Daniel was
Well,
playing
So it's
music.
a lifetime of
Danny
whole
and
life.
Jake.
Yeah.
I mean, the other two weren't doing anything with music.
I,
Sam would
So Josh-
fiddle on the piano sometimes.
yeah, but
But
Josh
that was it.
Josh would sit
He
and
wasn't film.
sing. He would sit. Jake would sit on the couch playing guitar, and Josh would just sing, and they'd make stuff up spontaneously as Josh was working on editing films.
True.
So we had that.
And
I
Daniel was
think that's
playing
after
guitar.
they have the band going.
Daniel wasn't even drumming. Daniel was playing guitar.
And you asked earlier if there was early writing. Our son, I remember getting phone calls in 3rd grade from his classmates asking if they could be in Daniel's band. And Daniel has a band. When did he tell us this?
In
I mean,
3rd grade.
He has his cousins. They always got together and wrote these cute little songs.
Aw.
And he and Josie
And
did.
they would play in front of the family. And Daniel entered multiple contests, like in elementary through high school, with written pieces of music. So, yeah, you mentioned they've all
Yep,
had
been doing music
been
for
exposed early on.
So yeah,
in
like
that
in the
process.
car, they were like 4 or 5 years old, and they would sing. And as they got older, they'd be like 8, 10, and someone would be doing beatbox, and someone would be doing this,
Yeah.
and they'd be just making up words and singing stuff. They'd do that for hours. So they were always musical, but they weren't always working on their craft for this band until they formed the band.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they just
So-
had it in them.
Yeah, I mean, Jake's the one
The
that
music
actually
in
played
you.
guitar always,
Yeah.
and knew that was.
Yep, and
he
that's what
knew
Daniel did.
right off the bat that he was going to play guitar all his life, and that's what he was
Yep.
going to do.
Yeah.
He
And
was
it
going to form a band and play guitar all his
I
life.
agree. It was fast, but what is it? About 6.
It just
7
appears
years,
fast
It's
because
been 8 years now. But
they were 17 and 20 when the
Yeah.
world took notice.
Right. Well,
Right.
see, and,
And they
that's
have
when
to
I say,
imagine, okay, they just formed the band, what, a year ago? So if
Right,
that was
right.
the perspective, it would seem
It would seem-
overnight.
It
But
does, yeah.
but
So
they
when I
have
say-
been a band since 2012, excuse me.
Yeah.
and when I say overnight, I'm saying like when they signed with Aaron. So when
It happened
seniors,
fast
Dan,
from that
right,
point.
when Dan and Sam were
Yes.
seniors,
Yes.
Yes.
and they signed with
Yes.
the management team.
Yes.
Yeah, from there.
they took off.
All of a sudden, once we signed with the management team, it was still going to take several years before anything happened. And just to sign with the label was going to be, 2-3 years out. It was going to be something they had to work at and get noticed. And that.
In that
So
perspective, you're right.
It
happened
just
that
went
happened
boom.
fast.
Yeah.
By
I mean, they
de-
signed
by
with
December,
all
they
came
were-
together.
In
Yeah.
6 months, they were
Yeah.
signed with a label,
Yep.
and then
Yeah.
But they had already had their first number one hit written since 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's floors me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
That's, most fans will say that's their favorite tune.
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and that was when your twins were
Yep.
15 years old.
Yeah.
They wrote Highway Tune.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's
Neat.
just that is it's
Yeah.
fascinating. It's fascinating. I got 2 boys, 6 and 8. I could not even imagine like my 8-year-old. So imagine when the boys were 8. Like in 4 years, you're gonna be in a band.
Yep.
Like I just can't
Yep.
fathom that. Like that just seems
Yep.
no way.
No, you just got to
It's a lot of kids' dreams, that's for sure.
But parents supporting that.
Yeah.
Right, that's the
Being
thing.
realistic, saying you need you need 2 plans. We know that you're passionate about that. And for Danny, what, 3 plans? He was
Yeah,
a great golfer.
he
Great
was.
student.
Yep, great student,
yeah,
great golfer.
student and
Good
musician.
student.
So.
But he always loved music first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was always in his heart first.
Yeah.
Jake
Well-
had soccer and music
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I mean,
But you could, so as a parent though, you guys could see it. You
Yes,
saw the
definitely.
music, you saw the talent, you saw the change. I mean, we all see our kids change when they're doing something they like,
Yep.
So you saw them change when they were together. I love the story about the first band practice with Danny and the boys are
Oh, yeah.
throwing the,
In their first fight.
they're getting in a fight and Danny,
That wasn't their first fight.
Yeah,
No, that was never. It was
First
Daniel's
fight in
first.
front of
Yeah,
Daniel.
first
Yeah.
fight in front of Daniel.
Danny's all like, hey, I'm going to be in this band.
Hey.
Oh my God, they're going to kill each other.
Oh, they were throwing
Initiation.
mic stands.
How was it,
and-
Daniel? Jake and Josh almost killed each other. Oh,
I just remember getting up on the hood of the Suburban because the garage door's open. Getting up on the Suburban and going, Danny. Danny gets up there and sits down. And, I'm really sorry.
It won't be like this every
is not
time.
unusual. No. This is not unusual, and you'll probably see a lot of this. And my only thing for you to do in that case is what Sam does and go, you're idiots, and just stand back and let it
happen.
Let it
I'm just
happen.
really sorry, but
Yep.
this is probably going to happen again. And he's like, it's okay, I got it. I'll just, yeah, I got it. Like, oh.
You didn't.
He's going to go home and tell his parents, they're going to say, he's out of the band. No, this isn't going to work.
Well, if that guy had connected his roundhouse into my face that night, that might have been the end of the band.
Yeah,
that
that's
night.
true.
Did you guys all get along right from the start?
We
Yeah,
did.
we did.
And we honestly didn't know. He might have known them from parent-teacher
My
conferences.
first meeting with
but I
Karen
didn't really
is
know
we
him.
went to a school function where our boys were playing in a band together
Oh, right.
with a few other classmates, and they covered a Rolling Stones, song.
Cool.
And the funny thing is one of their performances, the girl who had done the lead singing, she couldn't make it, and so they said, "Sam, you gotta sing this song." And Sam's like, "I'm not singing that song.
I'm
No
not
way."
singing.
Oh man.
It's like, well, you've got to. And so we finally convinced him that he had to do it, and he got up there and he just started.
He was,
And he was singing, but without any vocalization.
He wasn't
Yeah.
making
It's
any
like-
words.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Poor
he's
Sam.
like, nope, I'm
He's
not
come a
gonna
long
sing.
way.
Yeah, he
for
has.
sure he has.
So that's the first time I met Karen, and
Yeah.
shortly thereafter, I think Kelly, it was another school-related function. In the same token, we were setting up some equipment
yeah.
when Greta decided to come play at the end of the school year.
Yeah, they played at a dance.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
about that.
Yeah. The last
Minus
band-
Josh. I don't know if,
Yeah, he was there.
or maybe it was minus Jake, because I think Daniel played guitar, and even Kyle came in and did drums for that.
Could
But
be, yeah.
I think that's the first time I met Kelly. But
Parent-teacher conferences?
you know
Yeah,
what?
We probably interacted at parents.
They weren't
but-
in my homeroom, and at that
Oh, so you
time
might
they were
not-
homeroom
Oh, okay,
based.
Oh, and that's when you would.
And they never gave me trouble. I vaguely remember the twins being in my science class. I remember Jake was more energetic and Josh was the quiet one. And but I particularly remember Sam's reputation coming over from fourth grade. And it made
He
me a
was
little
the
nervous.
sweetest,
Not
most
good.
helpful, wonderful kid.
Made-
The teachers loved him until fourth grade.
What happened in fourth grade?
So I was a little nervous, thinking, all right.
Sam.
I was a little on the defensive, but I think all he needed was just somebody to
Yeah.
keep him in check. And he was very respectful when he realized I'm not pulling anything over on Mr. Wagner.
Yeah.
Well, Josh just
So-
told you this summer that he was intimidated by you.
Yeah,
That was
well.
so funny for him to say that. I was scared to death of
Well,
you,
I
Dad.
had to be. I think I was the first male teacher for most of those kids that come over to middle
Right.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless they had Mr. Farrah. Yeah, right.
Oh,
And
wow.
they need male teachers
Big, tall
out there.
male teacher. And I didn't put up with all
And
of
science is a hard subject.
And and math.
That's
and,
I couldn't even get the Coke and Mentos thing to work, Dan. Like, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed.
That is
Now I'm
that
sitting
is an
next-
incredible claim to fame because I've never seen that
This,
fail.
I've never seen that fail either.
I did so bad. I was like, how did I screw this up? Even, the kids are like, how'd you mess this up, Mom? This has been so much fun. I can't even tell you how fun this is. And I hope that we all get to hang out again. I can't wait till we're all at a concert.
Yes, I can't
Yeah.
wait.
That would be fun.
Yes,
forward to
counting
those
down the
days
days.
again.
Great. Yes, me too. And I think that the boys' hard work is paying off. I know that it's weird because they're so quiet right now. I think that's what it appears. That's, like, where'd they go?
Yep.
Where are they? What are they doing? We got a nice little message. When there was all this like hate flying all around, and
Right.
that was wonderful. I thought that was
Yeah,
Really
and
cool.
They're sensitive boys,
yeah.
and they felt it was a good time to
Say something.
share
Step up.
their
Yeah.
views, and
Yep.
That's good.
so we're proud.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
very
very good.
proud.
I think that we need more people like that.
Yeah.
Especially when people become stars, they kind of take another level, and it gets ugly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets really ugly, and I think we all have high hopes for them. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
And
So far, so good.
They haven't
sounds
changed
like
at
their
all.
moms will slap them upside the head anyways.
They will never
Yes.
change. They're just those kinds of boys.
Yeah. Is there any places that you guys are looking forward to them going? I mean, like, where's your dream place to go watch them in concert?
I don't know that I have. Red Rocks was, always a venue that I wanted to go to, so that was cool. But at this point, like, I was really excited to South America, just because I thought it'd be really cool to go, check out Brazil or.
Yeah, that would be a lot of
So
fun.
that was exciting, thinking that I might be able to
My
ride their
dream,
coattails for that trip.
my dream is to get a passport first, and leave the country second, and go anywhere out of the country because
That is a thing.
Yeah. No one will believe we don't have passports
yeah,
yet.
yeah, we never had a reason. Now we have a good reason.
Now you have
Yeah.
a reason. Now
And
you
then-
need one.
Now we need one.
Now you need one.
We'll get there.
Kelly, where do you think they're off to? That you'd be like, yes!
Wow, that's a good question. They were going to do some summer solstice event in Alaska.
Oh,
Bad.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been a lot of fun.
I wasn't looking forward to
That-
that. I've been to Alaska before, but that would have been fun.
Yeah,
That would have been
that
nice.
would
And
be
they've been
amazing.
booked to be in Hawaii a couple times, and
Yeah.
that would have been a lot of fun.
Hurricanes, kind of.
And I'd like to go see him in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Just
That'd be cool.
Looks like a beautiful place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's
And we
definitely
talked about
that's
that.
Definitely on
one.
the bucket list. That was
Yeah.
one of mine. I would have said New Zealand.
That's
Or
cool.
just get on the bus and tour through Europe with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
exactly.
guess the
We'll get our
possibilities
own
are
That's what I'm
endless,
waiting
right?
for. I'm waiting for things, give them a couple of years and things to progress. Because, some of these bands, they have multiple buses and they put family on one, So I'm thinking there's
four
going to
of us
be
can
the
go on a
parents' bus, well,
You can come on the parent
I'll get
bus.
my CDL. I will drive. I can clean the toilet.
There you
I
go.
can-
there you go.
as long as you don't mind drinking and driving. 'cause
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do
And we'll
that.
get an assistant.
Yeah, exactly.
And to be honest, we've been blessed that we've done a lot of cool things already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just appreciative of the things that we have done.
Yeah.
Been
No
to the
kidding.
Grammys.
Yeah.
We've spent time with Elton
Elton
John.
John.
We've seen SNL. We've gone
Yeah.
to the Tonight
Tonight
Show.
Show.
And I mean, these are things that I would never have dreamed of getting to in a
You would
lifetime.
never
Right.
think of that.
Yeah.
And I've experienced those, and I'm just appreciative for what we've had.
And they wanted us there with them.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna
That
say.
means more than anything.
That's another thing that makes me really proud is
Yep.
that they are.
Gives me chills.
They
They
still love
include
us.
you guys.
Yeah,
They want us.
They want
to
us
be involved
around.
with these things.
Yeah.
Which, I guess when we're there, and a lot of people in the industry think, "Wow, that's really nice," because ordinarily you don't see that
No.
happening
Right.
as much as everyone
No.
would like to see.
Yeah.
No, it's always buddies and friends and girlfriends and, all that stuff. So that's very, very cool.
Yeah, it is.
So
Yeah.
think
I don't know if I'd want to be around my mom that much, honestly. I might be calling Lori and Karen. Like, I've had it with my mom, but I'm supposed to go to Europe. Will you go with
You
me?
get her her own bus.
Yes, you know, I need your own bus. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I think
I'm just
one
kidding.
thing-
You're a nice lady, Mom.
One thing I think we all agree upon, and it comes up again and again, is the strong family foundation and connection. So
Makes a difference.
Yeah, makes a big difference.
And they all want to be part of the family. So
That's very cool.
Continue.
And the fans, yeah, all your fans are all part of the family. It's just
Yeah,
a huge
yeah,
old
yeah,
family.
yeah.
Who knew
Yeah.
you guys were going to end up with all of this family?
that's right.
How cool. I'm waiting for the whatever street or road or wherever it is that
It's
we're going to
be
be.
Greta Van Fleet Street.
Yes,
in Franklin Road.
I will be front row.
That would be cool.
I have proposed a couple locations, and I'm the new guy in town, so.
Well, the mayor is a big fan of Greta.
I know, and I always am asking the mayor about things, and I'm like, "Hey, mayor!
She loves Greta Van
Hey,
Fleet. That's
mayor!"
I think I've told this story, so I'll make it quick. But the mayor was actually the principal at the
Yes.
elementary when I started my twins, and I said to her, "I don't know. I've read so many things that say keep them together, and then I've read so many things that say separate them. I don't know what." She's like, "Oh, we've had like 17 sets of twins. You leave them together by second, third grade at the latest, then they want to be separated, blah, blah, blah." And she's so confident, made me feel so good. And sent them off literally the very first day, half-day kindergarten. Well, I think I might have led you astray. Now, there's nothing wrong. They didn't do anything wrong.
Sure.
But I'm thinking maybe we should separate them. And then I went down and I looked, and they just had control. They had control. And as she started talking, it's like she couldn't do anything without one of them doing this or one of them. And then it's like,
That is
so
so
I
funny.
think we need to. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And now she's the
Those
mayor.
phone calls, and now she's the mayor,
Now
and she
she's
loves the
the-
But
boys.
they
She
did
does.
stay together, didn't they not?
No.
Oh, they were separated.
They separated them. Yep.
Okay.
It was the first day, and shortly, I don't know if it was the very next day or that first week, but they switched.
Oh, your
One of them
twins,
had-
imagine them messing with the teachers on Zoom.
Oh,
Imagine that.
Now,
Yeah.
at
Like-
that age, that would have been difficult.
That-
Joshua, especially because he wanted to be. He was always from the age of 5. He was running around with this big camcorder.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he would like edit and do different things and turn it off and go change the set. and
Yeah.
turn around, run over there. Do the, he was so he especially would have loved the whole Zoom.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They have.
That would've been
There is
impossible.
some hilarious TikToks out there, and I think of Josh all the time, where one kid in the class will orchestrate a prank on the teacher. So the teacher comes on, and then this kid will be like, "Oh, Mrs. Bendel, can we go get a snack?" And she'll be like, "Okay, sure." And then they all go get like the loudest bag of chips, and it's like.
Oh, they all make that noise.
And you can't hear her anymore
Yeah.
because they're all being super loud. Or like he'll do like a hand gesture and they'll all click their cameras off. And then this one lady, she was losing her mind. She's like, "Honey, we lost connection. The connection's gone." And they're all and then they click their camera back on when the husband comes over, and he's
That's
like, "They're all right
That
there,"
That's
But
funny.
imagine that voice doing that.
Oh my gosh,
teachers.
nonstop.
Yeah.
Yep.
That'll be so funny. I can't wait till we all get to hang out and see them play and do
And
the
we will.
thing that they love.
will
yeah,
again.
we totally will. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Our
Thanks
pleasure.
for having
Thank
us.
you so much.
Thank you.
Let's do this again.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank
Certainly.
you for having us.
Yes.
on.
Yeah. Okay.
Anytime.
We'll hang out again. All right. Later, guys. Make sure you click subscribe. Check out the other interviews.